Hey, everybody. Yeah, Will, I see that. If you didn't notice, I have a bedtime tonight. We are leaving tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a big day. We're going to be really busy because I think we may possibly, probably making a decision on a car tomorrow. So it's going to be a long travel day and getting back up to Maine. A lot of packing to do. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I know we've talked about maybe going on an 8 tonight, but yeah, we were still kind of car shopping and tested out a Chevy Trailblazer today that was on the lot. And I was pretty excited about it until I figured out it did not have cruise control. That is basically a deal breaker for me. I do very few miles when I drive, but when I actually drive, I drive. Okay. My day-to-day driving is very minimal, but I will take my car on a road trip. So if I'm on the highway, I love using that cruise control. And if my car doesn't have it, I don't want it. So unfortunately, we had to pass on that, but it was a nice vehicle. So John Fox, Ray, Kevin, Sarge, Jim, thanks for hanging out past your bedtime, everybody. Frickin' frack. Whenever time. It kind of is. When I get back home, if I'm not in bed by 11, that I start to get a little grouchy. I turn into a pumpkin. What's going on, Mark Johnson? Hey, Lucha Garden State Bugs, you are not late at all. You're right on time. Good evening, Bearded Jedi. Great to see you guys all in here tonight. So yeah, game one. I don't know who watched the NBA Finals game one tonight. You know, we did. Somebody in here is a Celtics fan. But yeah, that was a rough first quarter. And overall, my opinion, that was a pretty sloppy game. There were some high points. Porzingis was fantastic, but I honestly think I've watched so many guys look like they were about to trip over their own feet while trying to dribble. And it wasn't exactly pretty. There was a lot of turnovers. There was a lot of just poor decisions. I'm sure they're jitters. I understand that 100%. But yeah, not the prettiest game to watch. Like I said, there were moments. But in my opinion, yes, the Celtics played great. But I think the Mavericks played pretty awful. Hey, Amber, working your way to bed? Yeah, I will be too. We're not going to be on too late tonight. Yeah, definitely not a great game. Yeah, he definitely stood out tonight. It was incredible to watch somebody who hasn't played in how many games to come back and looking that great. Go sports ball. Yeah, there was that one series in the first half, it had to have been, when there was like back-to-back turnovers, I think. It went from like a really sloppy screen, and then that was a foul, and then just maybe a series later where somebody just threw the ball to nobody at half court, which when I saw that, I just was like, wow, they're not in it. They're not in it at all. They're just overwhelmed. Yeah, Luka, he was great. I mean, I know this is the style of his game where he's got the ball in his hands like 90% of the time, but man, that was a lot of Luka time tonight. Kyrie, yeah, not a great game for him, but did anybody catch those shoes he was wearing? I know that he's worn them before, but I can't get over the fringe. The fringe on the heel of the shoe is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, they made me laugh, but fashion statement on the court, I guess. Not my favorite shoe. Not my favorite. KP hasn't played in 10 games till tonight. Always loved him, especially when he came to the NBA with the Knicks. Yeah, I think, what is he, 29? He's still so young, maybe 25. I don't even remember. We looked it up today, but pretty incredible that he's been in the league for as long as he has been. And he's really looking a lot more grown, it looks like. Babysitter Jess, hey, great to see you. So yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to the next game. I'm glad that the Celtics won, so there's not going to be any grumpy Chris's in the building tonight. There was a moment where he kind of was like, the Celtics lose tonight, they deserve to lose, because after they came back from halftime, there was they cut it to 11. They had a chance, but yeah, I don't think Luka can do everything by himself. So anyway, game was good. We didn't see the first quarter because we were still driving back, and did a little food shopping on the way in. But yeah, it was a pretty productive day as far as car shopping. And I was pleasantly surprised. I don't check my credit score that often. I know it's a good credit score, but basically I'm proud of myself. I'm not going to get into the number, but I will say it's probably like above B tier. I'm very happy. I'm glad that I'm giving my mom a run for her money, because she has a really high credit score. So she taught me well, and fortunately that's going to be a great bargaining chip, at least, trying to get that financing worked out. But yeah, I'm kind of curious for anybody that's financing a car right now. Did you go through your dealership, or maybe did you go through your personal bank or a credit union? I'm going to be calling my bank tomorrow to see if I can maybe get some better numbers possibly, but I don't know. I don't know how good they can be. Everything right now is so expensive. It seems like I got a really good rate, but I have not shopped for a vehicle in I don't know how many years, maybe 15. And when I went, my stepdad went with me, and he basically co-signed. I went in, literally, I'm not joking, I had a manila envelope just stuffed with cash. And when they asked how much I was going to put down, I said 3,000. And my stepdad looked at me and looked at the guy and was like, no, she's not. I've got great credit. I'm co-signing. We're not putting that much down. And he never really explained to me fully why we did that. But yeah, he told me to put my money away and use it towards paying back. I think so. Honestly, there's a definite idea. We still have, I mean, once we kind of made the choice in our heads, Kris still sort of did some online searching to see what else we could take a look at, considering, knowing my credit rating and what we could kind of do with that. Refinance through credit union and save money. Credit union always has lower rates, but at times dealerships offer those super low rates if it's a new vehicle. Okay. Okay, so yeah, well, we're not gonna go new. I told Kris earlier I did a new car. My first car was a gift at 16 from my mom and my stepdad, which was a very used 1980, was it 83 or 85? Might have been an 85 Ford Tempo. And then I graduated maybe 2 or 3 years later to a 93 Mercury Sable. So I wasn't driving the most luxurious or stylish cars, but yeah, I went through that. They made me, earn my right to a newer, nicer car. Hey, Big Stu, what's going on? And then I've decided I was going to save all my money up, and then I was going to get myself a brand new car, which I did, and it has served me very well. We got 10K off MSRP and 0% for 60 months less than a year ago. Wow. I might have Kris message you guys, get some tips. That's amazing. Did you hear that?
No.
We got 10K off MSRP and 0% for 60 months less than a year ago on a 2023.
Yeah, it's different when it's brand new.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's totally different numbers.
Right.
Brand new, it's like different numbers.
Yeah, but the point I was getting at is I actually said I honestly do not care about a brand new car ever again. I did it, and I'm happy I did it, but I'm happy to go with a certified used 2-year-old car in the future. And yes, as long as the car gets me where I need to go safely, I'm happy about that. Okay, dealer incentive, got it. Yeah, definitely not. Look at 2023 models, might get a good deal. Yeah, I think what I want to do is kind of like do maybe something at least newer for right now, and then move up to something in like a couple years. I really do want to get a hybrid. And right now, that's not the best option for us, but that, there's just running a small business. I was thinking about this today. I've never had imposter syndrome yet, but today really thinking about, okay, I haven't had a car payment in how long, and now I'm going to be taking on one. And it really made me like, okay, get serious. I need to really think about it because I'm doing something that isn't a guaranteed income all the time, but the potential is there to do well. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I had an anxiety attack or anything like that, but I definitely was kind of just taking things very seriously and evaluating and thinking, all right, I need to be wise and just think about what I want to do for myself and being as frugal as possible. We bought new in 08 and drove for 15 years. This one should last until I'm 112. Well, yeah, I'd like to get a car and never have to deal with this whole process again. I'd rather go to the dentist, I think. I'm kind of curious, though. What is everybody's first car that they ever drove? I've been driving the same car for 12 years, maintain it, and when it breaks, I fix it. Can't wait for an Outback or a Suburban. Ooh, yeah, I do like Outbacks. What I really want, and this is so cool, is one of those Subaru Solterras. I think they're incredible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with a car that's 10 years old. As long as it's running well and you can feel safe in it, yeah. I don't judge people. We were in the dealership waiting, and this like 17-year-old girl and her mom showed up, and we were just, talking paperwork inside, and I overheard her talking to the other salesman. Oh, I'm here for my appointment. And he was asking, okay, what car were you here to see? And she said, oh, the Land Rover. And I know that you could probably see it on my face. I'm thinking, what does a 17-year-old need a Land Rover for? We don't drive anywhere, and Amber is 1 mile from work, so it doesn't make sense for us to buy anything expensive. I used to have the same situation, for the most part. And I rode my bike to work all the time. I think that's impressive. 1982 Ford F-150. Mercury Mystique. Wow. 1969 Pontiac Tempest. 1985. Wow, there's a lot of Mercurys. Mercury Capri. Hopefully Kris convinces you for a German car. Yeah, it might be. It might be. I think it probably will be. 1991 Chevy Cavalier. 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Bravo. Yeah, especially a Land Rover when she's young and not even a safe driver yet. It was like one of these smaller ones, though. Was it a Land Rover or a Range Rover? It might have been a Range Rover. It was a smaller Range Rover, so it probably wasn't that hard to drive. But I can't help it. I have very sensitive hearing, and he was asking her, "Do you know how to drive it?" Because I don't know, not stick, but like the gears, it's like on the dash or something. They weren't pedals, but I don't know. I've never driven a Land Rover or a Range Rover, so I was just kind of curious. But it just seems so ridiculous. Like, what? My first was a 1964 Chevy Bel Air, bought for $300. Terry's was a 1977 Ford Granada Coupe. I'm gonna have to look some of these up. I'll be honest. I don't know if I know all of them. I wonder how. Yeah, seriously. I was just kind of like, why? Why? I can't even make a sentence. It just seems so surreal that anybody that's under the age of like 21 is driving a Range Rover for what seemed like their first car. It just seems so wild to me. Even if I was like a millionaire, I don't think I would have my kid drive a Land Rover. But, yeah. She might have been 19. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. Yeah, paddle shifters. I'm kind of curious about that. I personally miss having a stick shift. Okay, wait. I've never owned a car that has a stick shift, but my parents, especially my stepdad, he would not allow me to drive until I learned how to drive a stick shift. And his method was, we're going to drive up the biggest hill in the city, and you're going to figure it out, basically. I was terrified that I was going to crash the car. But yeah, it was pretty frustrating for about 2 minutes. And eventually I got the hang of it, and I was almost like in love. I missed it. I actually was really disappointed that I didn't ask more questions, because I didn't know that you could drive a stick shift and have cruise control in a car. I thought you had to have a automatic to have cruise control, and I found out later that you didn't. So I would still be driving a stick shift right now if I had asked. Stick shifts are the best theft deterrents in 2024. Yeah, man, they're so fun to me. I had such a good time, and it's almost like, yeah, like a flex now. Like, look what I can do. Like, if you can't drive one, wow. Johnny, great to see you. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I know it's a little late. We're not going to be on too long tonight. Now yes, everyone's trying to steal catalytic converters. My mom is very enamored with her Ring doorbell. She ended up buying like a supplemental floodlight camera that goes on her garage as well. And she caught some guys kind of lurking around our neighborhood. And she's the person that has the voice activated or not voice, I should say, the motion activated voice that comes on. And instead of like just the light coming on, the voice says, "You are being recorded." So you look and you know you're being recorded. But she found out later that somebody in the next neighborhood, and by neighborhood, I mean like 2 streets away, because on the West Coast, neighborhoods aren't the same as they are on the East Coast. But yeah, they were stealing catalytic converters. Took my driver's license test in a 3 on the tree. I had a Ford Comet with 3 on the tree. I don't know what 3 on the tree is. Is that a manual? Do you know what 3 on the tree is? Can you? I'm talking to you right now in real life. What's a 3 on the tree?
Oh, the shift is right here.
Oh!
You don't like this on the steering wheel and you're like...
Wait! I drove one of those. My dad had a Ford Ranchero. And it was, yes, I remember that. Oh, I forgot all about that. What a good memory. I took my driver's license test and in an ice storm. They told me if I slid once, then I would fail. Wow, congratulations. Wow. That's why you get an old car with no catalytic converter or muffler. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I do go live tomorrow at 9. I got to make another thumbnail. Oof. Stick shift on the column. Yeah. Now, I wonder, I don't know if this is super good parenting or not too great parenting, but that Ford Ranchero that my dad had, he actually let me drive it when I was 13. So I don't really remember. It couldn't have been a stick shift. It must have just been on the, on the column, but it was automatic. But I totally forgot about that. But driving that, I mean, it felt like a stick shift. But yeah, he taught me to drive. But then one time, and this was in like a very suburban area with like very low traffic. He needed me to go get lunch for like 15 kids he was doing a summer camp for. He already knew that I could drive. He had watched me drive. He taught me the rules of the road, but I was 13 and he said, "Here's the keys. Go straight there," which was not even a mile, and come straight back. And I drove that car to pick up sandwiches. And in my mind, Dad was the authority. The cops were not. So I just said, "Yes, sir," and went on my way. Chico's, great to see you. My 57 Chevy 4-door 210 with 3 on the tree. Oh, you had a Ranchero. Yeah, that was huge. That car, man, yikes. Yeah. So this Sunday, Siamese Dream and Gangsta's Paradise, 5 p.m. I've said this before, but I'll repeat it one more time if you haven't heard this already. These 2 scents are really great. I think Kris thinks that Gangsta's Paradise might be the scent of the summer. I know it's not the year, probably the summer or ever. I don't know. But Gangsta's Paradise is going to be a pineapple and coconut with some sandalwood. So I really love that. I love anything pineapple, anything coconut. I'm totally into it. And then Siamese Dream, for me, it comes off kind of like a spring scent, but it's a nice transition. It's got some like berry notes in it, a little bit of floral, but then it has some musk that's really nice. But I'm a big fan of both of them. Really, really excited for both of those. Grew up learning to drive on dune buggies. Awesome. Okay. Paying the dab tax. 78 or 79. I wish I could remember what year that Ranchero my dad had was. But man, that engine, wow. Wow. It was insane. I think, I put on Hotel California earlier today. I wish you guys could have seen my wife's reaction when she smelled it in my beard. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was not a good one, but that's good. Awesome. Had a Mustang. The shift rod broke, and I fixed it with a piece of all thread. It shifted backwards, down to up. Wow. Well, I don't think anybody's ever stealing that car. That's awesome. If you don't know, Johnny's got like 4 different Instagrams that I know of, I think, with all different lifestyle interests. So check this out on Instagram. We lived out in the middle of nowhere, so I drove well before I was 16. I looked, when I was 13, I looked like I was probably 10. So when I was actually legally driving with my permit at 15, I probably looked 12. And there was a time when my dad took full advantage of me being able to drive. And we did a road trip to go see my grandparents. And we'd drive through Southern California up to Central California. So once he saw that I got out of LA traffic and we were, making our way through the grapevine, he decided to rest his eyes. So he laid back in the front seat, so you couldn't see anybody sitting in the passenger seat. And it just looked like me, like probably like this, because I was so small at like 15 with my permit, like a 12-year-old driving. And I remember very vividly highway patrol pulling up past me, but then slowing down to look in at me driving, and I kind of just waved and then pointed, and then my dad like pushed his seat up and looked over and waved and smiled, and nothing happened, but it was kind of a terrifying moment that I thought I was about to get pulled over for doing something. Dad let me drive on the highway sitting in his lap. Oh, wow. Yeah. I might have driven on my dad's lap, but definitely not on the highway. It's funny now too. I see all these like commercials for car seats and laws that, if a child is under a certain height, certain weight, that kind of combination of things, that they should be sitting in a car seat until they're tall enough to ride this ride, because the seatbelts aren't working for anybody that's too small. And I've actually compared it to my like growth as a kid, and I would have been sitting in a car seat until I was about 12 years old. Yeah, I don't know. I had a big growth spurt, but I was a very, very, very small child for a very long time. Oh, we're getting into like serious car talk now. Oh, this is like one topic that I'm not very versed on. I learned to shift from the passenger. My dad would say when to change. Wow. Yeah, my dad let me do quite a few things because he knew I was capable of it, such as bookkeeping around 13. He taught me how to do a couple things and said, all right, start balancing the checkbook. My cousin let me drive on his lap. I almost hit a car. The guy turned around, chased us down. Oh, I know enough to be very dangerous. Yeah. I absolutely would agree with that. You guys talk about stuff that it's like a foreign language. It's pretty incredible though. Man, I've been lucky though. It's so surreal being like, man, even today, I don't think I can look back at my time driving in California or Arizona and ever really getting too frustrated or noticing that bad driving was that rampant. But out here, Kris told me last night that I'm so by the book, and the majority of people that drive in the Northeast apparently are not. I got honked at last night for turning right, slowing down with my blinker on. He actually got out to check to make sure it was working because the person, I don't even know what I did. Like, I was being honked at because I turned too slow, maybe? I don't know. I watched somebody um, bang a left turn from behind the person in front of them, waiting to make a left turn in front of me as the light turned green, cutting across the traffic. I watched somebody pull into, I guess, what I call the suicide lane in the middle where you can merge or turn left or right. That was at a 45-degree angle into the left lane of traffic. Uh, I just, yeah. Today, a semi, something happened with the engine and just started backing into me. I didn't freak out. I'm not saying Kris freaked out, but he definitely was like, "What's this guy doing?" And yeah, I kind of just am on my toes driving around out here. It's pretty wild. I actually said, should I start driving stupid so that I don't get hit? I don't even know how to approach it. Yeah, the Northeast are some crazies on the road with tons of road rage. I don't know. I should get one of those like bumper stickers or decals that says, "I left on time. Go around me." I don't know. It's yeah. I thought people in California drove fast. The speed that people drive out here is pretty terrifying, especially the truckers. I can't believe it. That's why I don't have a bike anymore. I miss having my bike, but I always drove a beach cruiser. Jacob, what's going on? Great to see you. I hope you're getting settled in. I saw you put up your skulls today. Looks like that's, I don't know if I love or hate unpacking. I think it's kind of like a perfectionist thing where you, at least in my case, I want things to be done perfectly right. Oh, you're right. You're right. I should have known that. um, I will get stuck and won't be able to unpack if I can't figure out the perfect place to put things the first time because I don't want to keep redoing it over and over. Um, Not that I like packing either, but I just feel like it's so overwhelming that I don't know and I don't have it like planned out where I want everything. And I don't like wasting time going over it again and again. So, Jacob, I hope that you figure it out rather quickly. And I'm excited to see the new setup, I guess. I don't think, have you been live yet? If I've missed it, sorry, we've been out of the office, obviously. um, yeah, I should have known better. I don't think anybody rides bicycles out here outside of California. Um, maybe maybe up in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know, but yeah, no. I used to. I'd ride a beach cruiser to work, not a motorcycle. I never trusted myself on getting a bike because I would fly around and no one really looks for motorcycles on the street. Um, yeah. I always get really terrified when they split lanes. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's legal, but sometimes they're just going so fast, and it's like there's no reaction time. You can't really, I don't know. It's that's just so scary to watch on the freeway or highway or whatever we call them out here. The what do you call it? A toll road? Is a toll road still a highway?
I don't even use the word toll. It's just everything. You're on a highway or a back road.
But what if there's no toll? It's still a highway.
Yeah, it's still a highway.
Where do people? Where do
you can call
people?
it a toll highway, but we just call it highways. Some states have tolls, some don't.
Where do people stop calling them freeways? Because I know California calls it a freeway. Do they have freeways in Texas? Do they have freeways in New Jersey? Are there freeways in other states, or is that just a California thing? I don't know. But I always say the freeway, and everybody's like, yeah, the highway? Okay, so they are highways. That's no votes for freeways yet. That's why we don't have ours anymore. People just didn't look for them. I didn't drive my bike crazy, just drove it. Some are called turnpikes.
Is that mass turnpike?
I don't know what a turnpike is. Is that a highway?
Yeah.
What? Freeway.
I'll never forget that this is where the country began.
Okay.
Like, this is New England. This is where it all began.
That doesn't mean anything.
Maybe they improved upon it by the time they made it to the West Coast, but this is what it is out here. We don't call it freeway.
I'm not saying you should.
No, I know. I'm just clarifying that. Like,
yeah, but people used to get put to death for stealing bread, and just because that's the way it was doesn't mean it can't change. Yeah, no, I always call it freeway, being since I'm from California. We have a turnpike in New Jersey, goes to Maryland and other states. Yeah, they are all highways. It's all road or highway to me. Turnpikes are toll, aren't they? Yes, you're right. It is the main turnpike. I get like little chuckles from Kris because I call it the 95. And I guess that's a very California thing to do as well. Because we call everything like the 405 or the 91 or the 110. I mean, there's only one of them. So we call it the. If Matt was in here, I wish he was. I don't know where he's at. But if Matt Storm is in here, he would give us a history lesson on why Californians do that. I guess originally the freeways in California were actually named with actual names, not numbers. And it just carried over because it would be like the, I don't know, the Pacific Coast Highway, which is funny because we don't call it the PCH, we just call it PCH. And yeah, I don't know what happened when, I don't know all that history, Matt does, but it's the 95 or the whatever, and we don't use exit numbers. We just say get off on whatever street it is. So that's a little bit foreign to me, where it's like, yeah, get off on 85B. Yeah, Highway 1, right? PCH. Yeah. No, it's not 10. It's the 101. L95. Yeah. Yeah. It's still a little confusing. It's kind of rough to go from being like super good at directions to kind of like not knowing which way I'm going sometimes. Little unsettling. Yeah, the 101. I grew up by the 110. That was my freeway. How does it go? Odd numbers are north south, even numbers east west. So let me think. The 91 goes east and west, and the 405 goes north and south. And wait, no, I don't know about that, Kevin, because we have the 5, which I guess is an interstate, but that goes north, and that's an odd number. So I don't know if that's always right. Okay, so I moved out here for the first time around 2007, I think. But then I moved back, and it was kind of like an on-off, back and forth kind of thing for a little while. And then during COVID, I stayed with my mom for a little bit, and I was in Arizona for a couple of years. But then it was like 20. It's been a little over a year now that I've been out here. But we don't get out a lot. It's a lot of work. I miss Arizona. The grid system makes it so easy to get around. Yeah, oh man. Streets out here, like everything goes crazy directions. There's not really like, that reminds me of parts of Southern California. It's like you take one street and it could take you all the way up to downtown LA. It's states east and west and presidents north and south. Wait, then how come the 5 in California runs north and south? Somebody's got to Google that. I swear, I'm telling you. The 5 goes north, and it's an interstate. If that isn't screwy enough, some are state highway numbers and some are U.S. highway. Oh, man. Yeah. Those are street names in our hometown. Oh, okay. Man, that's one of my favorite tests to know if somebody is from Southern California. I'm going to type it in the chat here. And I've actually heard this said on a Dan C live, which he clearly is not from California because he butchered this. This right here. And I'm typing it in because if I say it, that'll give it away right away. But yeah, that's the test of if you're from Southern California. I mean, unless you live there and you learn it, obviously. But this right here is one of the words that gets tripped up on all the time. And then you're like, it's a dead giveaway. I-5 north and south is right. Even numbers east to west. Okay. On numbers north and south. Even numbers east to west. I-5. Okay. No, I've never tried a Trejo taco. I never made it. I should have, but I never made it up there. Gary knows. My favorite is hearing Sepulveda. I tested Kris, and that's how he said it. But now he knows. Now he knows. Yep. Oh, yep. That's right. Sepulveda. I live close-ish to I-70. See, that's another thing. We don't say I anything. We just say the. We don't care because nobody drives far enough to get to another state in California because it's too big. I live closest to I-70. It goes east-west. That's how I remember interstates. Trejo. Yeah, if I make it back out there, I definitely will. But I'm getting a Mexican burrito tomorrow. Ooh. I don't know if we're going to end up making a Franken burrito because I'm sure you guys have heard this before. California burrito has French fries in it, and that's their most popular menu item, but they don't do it right. The French fries they use are too skinny, so they get too soggy too fast, and then you don't even notice they're in the burrito, so it's a little bit disappointing. I think, Kevin, you're in Illinois, right? I-5 is West Coast. I-95 is East Coast. Both are north to south. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I've had, not from there, but I've had one before from Taco King or something. Long before I went vegan, I tried a lengua taco just to try it. I also had actual menudo. So I've had these things. I never had it again. I did it just to try it. The Italian cheesesteak, is that different from a regular cheesesteak? I'm not sure. I've had a cheesesteak in Philadelphia, not from one of the two spots that everybody who's a tourist goes to. Pat's and Gino's. Yes. No, I've never eaten a cheesesteak from either of those. I ate my cheesesteak from Ishkabibbles. The only place I've tried a California burrito that was even remotely close to being done right was in upstate New York. All right. Yeah, the spot that's here, the story on the owners, they were from San Diego. Excuse me. Ugh. I got an itch. Well, tickle. Yeah, they're from San Diego originally. When I read that, I was like, I'm sold. I totally believe that they would do it right. And overall, yeah, it's a really, really great burrito. Jim, if you're still in here, is it Loco Cocos or Coco Locos? I think it's Loco Cocos.
Coco Locos.
Yeah. Oh, they put fries on it. Yeah, fries on anything are usually pretty good. Okay, so Gary might have to help me with this. Okay, yeah, so it's Loco Cocos. Oof, I can't wait. Gary might have to help me on fact checking this because I haven't had an actual California burrito in, I don't know, almost a decade now. But it should be carne asada, French fries, sour cream, pico. Gary, are there beans in it? Mine always had beans in it because if it didn't, I would make sure they had beans in it. Because I can't have a burrito without beans in them. But that's a Southern California burrito. It's delicious. I'm telling you, guys, it's fantastic. And if you ever get a chance to try one, I highly recommend it. The way I get a California burrito is a little bit different now. Here it is. Yeah, see, I didn't think so. No beans. But the way I order my California burrito, it's going to be beans. I can take or leave rice. I don't need that to be in my burrito. Sometimes it's just like too filling, I guess. But anyway, beans, maybe rice, guac, pico de gallo. At this spot that I'm going to tomorrow, I get basically it's soy chorizo, so it's soy riso, and French fries. It's like getting, okay, imagine putting chips on your sandwich. People do that. They put like, sneak chips in the middle of their sandwich. Everybody's going to think that's weird the first time you see it. But it's not going to add that super crunch, but man, it's so good. Yeah, it's so, so good. And it's not Trailer Park. This is a Southern California classic. The other burrito that California is lesser known for is the Mission burrito. And that's NorCal style. But I don't remember what a Mission burrito is. I think it's beans, rice, and cheese. I don't know. Gary, maybe you can help me out with the mission burrito. I know that was like definitely no fries in it, but they're like known for that up north. Yeah, no, I definitely will be showing the burrito tomorrow. The oh yeah, I forgot that little comment. That Puerto Rican food. So okay, I never have had. I never have had. I've never had Puerto Rican food, so I don't know how that compared to like traditional Puerto Rican food. However, it's so good. Um, we shared a bowl yesterday, but we went back today and each got our own bowl because they were that good, and they were good portions. But we got the yellow rice. Kris got black beans. I got red beans, and then what else was in there? Oh, this like guava barbecue sauce and the tofu, and then we got a side of fries, but Kris threw fries in his bowl. Now he's on hooked on the fries in burrito sort of thing. Freebirds failed miserably in California. Well, they tried, and they should have done well. I never saw a place close so fast in Southern California. I didn't even get a chance to try. I had it when I was visiting somebody in Santa Barbara, and then they brought one to where I was living about 2 years later. Within 6 months, I think it was gone. See, I love beans, so for me, this is like A plus. Who doesn't put beans and rice in a burrito? You never heard of a BRC burrito? Come on, guys. Bean and cheese burritos are like the basics. Okay, here we go. Mission burritos. Cheese, guac, pico, more guac, sour cream, asada, rice, and beans. Okay, I knew there was rice and beans in the mission burrito. I've always thought that was a good burrito as well. So I can't hate on it, but it's no California burrito. And that's why it's called the California burrito. The California burrito. No, it's both. I want rice and beans with my bean burrito. That's how much I love beans. And quick side note, shout out to Bean Dip. I didn't realize that Frito, this is kind of embarrassing. Frito Bean Dip, like the Frito Lay, like cat food jar, whatever container of Bean Dip that you can get at the gas station is vegan, and I went crazy. I love beans, and I was so excited to eat that we got like 3. I feel like so many places do a burrito injustice. Oh, I don't like wet burritos. No, I don't do wet burritos. I don't like a soggy tortilla. I'm with you, Gary, 100%. I don't eat beans, let alone a burrito. I always thought it was a mandatory ingredient, but I just may eat one knowing now people don't deem it necessary. Gary, do you think beans have a place in a burrito ever? You're lucky you're a mod. Was at a Mexican restaurant. The customer said no beans, no rice. The server said no beans, no rice about 10 times. No beans, no rice. I've never had a burrito without beans in it. Rice, absolutely. I've never asked for rice. If it comes in it, I'll do it. But I don't ask for rice in my burrito. Get out of here. I know that it's not in Texan chili.
You want to try this?
Okay.
Why not? Take a picture.
Well, I must be a preposterous, proprietor, I can't even say it because this is just ridiculous to me. Gary's saying that people in Southern California don't put beans in their burrito. I grew up in a very Mexican household where we ate beans for breakfast. Beans go in. I've never had a burrito without beans in it in my life. Not ever. Ever. That's just foreign to me. All right, guys. Kris just handed me this dip that I picked up today. This small batch handmade company, homemade in Maine, called Planted. Okay, this is a all vegan, plant-based, made in a gluten-free facility in Kittery company. And we've been following them on Instagram. It's a very, man, they're hard to find because they don't have an actual storefront. And you have to kind of find it at other businesses, or they have this like secret little, what do you call it? A
Honor system.
Yeah, some grab and go spot that we have not found yet. But you either pay with Venmo or you work something out with the owner. But yeah, it's an honor system thing. But today I picked it up at Lovebirds. But this is their spinach and artichoke dip that I'm gonna try, I guess, at 11:57 at night. Jim, I would follow that food truck around too. They were amazing. No beans in a burrito. Might as well eat air. All right, Will, you're on team beans when it comes to burritos. I like that.
I'll try a little bit.
Huh. I like it. It's a little weird.
I'm a spinach artichoke fan.
I know you are. I have two friends in Norwalk. Oh man, I have a friend from Norwalk. They said, nah, no beans and no rice. I've never heard of Mexicans eating beans for breakfast, but I will say tortillas are almost a must. Tortillas are a utensil, okay?
I'll tell you what, that's really good.
I'll tell you what.
Spinach and artichoke dip, that's really good.
Wow. I'll tell you what.
That might be a 10 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 all day long.
Huh.
I got to take a shot.
Yeah, Ray. I've had to tell so many I don't want to say uneducated, but they don't know any better. People who grew up on, I don't know what, Scrapple, who were shocked to learn that tortillas are a utensil that you use to pick things up like a chip.
It's a vessel.
What?
It's a vessel.
Sure, but you also use it to pick up food.
Yeah, definitely.
The way you would use a fork or a spoon.
Same you do it.
They do go on the side of my bean burrito. 30 Spray J, hello. All right, Luch, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, we're going to be going to bed soon, too. I have to get up early. To celebrate National Donut Day, which is in about 30 seconds from now, and pack, and go running, and probably go back to the dealership. It's going to be a long day. That's the same as pitas. Pitas are a little bit more dense, a little harder to maneuver, I would say.
Oh, all right. You don't want to lose.
I don't want it.
You don't want it at all?
No, not right now.
Oh, I didn't know if you want me to have it.
You can have it. But yeah, tortillas are like my favorite utensil, especially for cleaning the plate. What do you guys call that? A happy plate? Something like that. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I got to get in bed, wake up early, go get donuts again. Probably drive back down to Massachusetts. Possibly buy a car. Oh, I got to call the bank. I got a lot to do. Make a thumbnail and then be back in Maine for another live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Friday night. And I'll have all my fun sound effects, etc., etc. But yep, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking about bean burritos with me. You guys all have a great evening, and hopefully I see you again tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Good luck, Jacob. Don't stay up too late. I call it the good was so good I had to clean the plate. Yeah, I always lick the plate clean. All right, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.